Eastern Conference Finals between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors. And it's presented by Horizon. Game 4. With Cleveland leading 2-1. The home team has won the first 3 games thus far. Meanwhile, Oklahoma City now with a 2-1 advantage in the West. And they are fired up here in Toronto, inside and outside the arena. So a tough task for the road team. Here's the pregame talk from
crowd going crazy, acknowledging the way that their team is putting on a clinic. Great job of dribble penetration and throwing it to the rim. Raptors rolling early.
Cavs have responded as they cut it to 1.
Talk about the ability to finish. So Kyrie Irving gets into the paint, little brush off of Kyle Lowry, got away with it. But how about the finish by LeBron James? Hanging in the air over the contested hand. My goodness, I'd be out a week.
Comes to an end. Toronto shoots 52% from the field. They went up by as many as 8 in the early going, getting some help from their bench once again. But after a slow start, Kyrie Irving with a couple of buckets. And after 1 here in Game 4, it's the Raptors by 3. We'll take a timeout as we're just past the midway point of the second. Kyle Lowry has found his touch on his home floor.
Both off the dribble and on the catch and shoot. Kyle Lowry is absolutely draining very long three-point jumpers, and the Raptors are rolling.
Job by Kyle Lowry, using his eyes to freeze the cornerback. Kevin Love bites, he makes the decision in midair. And then not only inside, but outside. Crowd going crazy, appreciating the show by their Raptors.
After some severe struggles in the first 2 games, Lowry back in Canada, lighting it up. 20 points in 22 minutes. And at halftime, it's 57-41. Let's go to halftime coming up after these messages here in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
The NBA Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN, presented by Verizon, is brought to you by Kumho Tire, the official tire of the NBA, T-Mobile, ditch your carrier and switch to the Un-carrier, and Nissan, innovation that excites.
Welcome back to the Eastern Conference Finals, presented by Verizon. Well, these Toronto fans enjoying their team's first trip ever to the conference finals. They didn't enjoy it the first couple of games, but here in Toronto, the turnaround continues with a huge advantage, up by 16. And we get set for the third quarter. First half stats brought to you by Kia. And you look at the first half of the series, again, domination the first 2 games by the Cavs on their home court. And the Raptors doing the very same thing here in games 3 and 4 here in Canada.
Continuing to keep his foot on the gas pedal. Out of pick and roll, turns the corner, thinking score, thinking attack, gets to his spot. That's beautiful offense.
The NBA Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN, presented by Verizon, is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And Metro PCS. Switch to Metro PCS for only $30, period.
Cavs, after all the struggles from downtown, are now 6 of 7 from three-point range here in the third. Great play from James to set up J.R. Smith. Cavs trying to come back from an 18-point deficit. We've seen some good shot making here in the fourth quarter.
Certainly have seen some big shots. How about Corey Joseph being defended by LeBron James? Uses that body, elevates, and then how high can you go? That's a big-time finish.
The NBA Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN is presented by Verizon. Join a better network because better matters. And in part by Disney Pixar's Finding Dory, in theaters in 3D June 17th. And Land Rover, Above and Beyond.
Norris's team never makes it easy. Many anxious moments, many rough outings, but they always seem to win. So far in these playoffs, the game they had to have. And they had to have game 4 to tie it up as they head back to Cleveland. We'll have it for you on ESPN. Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Tip-off shortly after 8:30. NBA Countdown kicks off our coverage at 7:30 Eastern. The all-star backcourt for the Raptors deliver big time. And after 2 thumpings in Cleveland, they come right back, and the home team is 4-0 in this series. Final score, Raptors 105, Cavaliers 99. Sports Center at night from here in Toronto. That's coming up next. For Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, Doris Burke, producer Tim Corrigan, director Jimmy Moore, and our wonderful ESPN crew, Mike Green saying thanks so much for watching Sports Center at night. Next, here on ESPN.